Hey, Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, first and foremost, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakapadash, divine to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation Israel, all right? My name is Aratazah.
Brother Kasha Quali.
All right, we're from the Great Millstone GMS Atlanta camp, all right, with another video. Basically, this video is going to be based on Second Esdras, the 12th chapter, all right, dealing with the 12 feathers vision that Esdras received, which we did a overview or video on it on chapter 11, maybe about 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6 months ago. All right, Spirit's guiding us to, might as well just cover chapter 12 as well, which is pretty much like a recap. The angel was pretty much expounding on what he was bringing out to him in chapter 11. All right, he's basically explaining it. All right, so without further ado, we're just gonna get right into it.
God. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 12, verse 1. It says, "And it came to pass, whilst the lion spake these words unto the eagle, I saw, and behold, the head that remaineth, and the 4 wings appeared no more, and the 2 went unto it, and set themselves up to reign, and their kingdom was small and full of uproar."
Right, so you read chapter 11, which that video is still up. I think the brothers from Dallas, they did a video as well. They did a class on it, 2nd Esdras chapter 11. When you go through it, the feathers represent these particular Caesars. All right, start from which brothers got the names.
I can read them all.
Go ahead.
The feathers, right?
Yeah.
I'll just read the Caesars. We'll start with Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero, Galba, Otho, Vitellius, Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian.
Right. He started with Augustus, which really the first was Julius Caesar, but scholars don't consider him as a Caesar. They say he was like more of a dictator, so to speak. But he was the first Caesar. All right. So that's what the prophecy is dealing with.
Right.
That time frame, in so-called Roman history, those first 12 Caesars to rule. All right. So you go ahead.
Verse 3, it says, "I saw," and I saw, and behold, they appeared no more, and the whole body of the eagle was burnt, so that the earth was in great fear. Then awaked I out of the trouble and trance of my mind, and from great fear, and said unto my spirit, Lo," verse 4, "Lo, this hast thou done unto me, and that thou searchest out the ways of the highest." Verse 5, "Lo, yet am I weary in mind, and very weak in my spirit, and little strength is there in me. For the great fear wherewith I was affrighted this night." Verse 6, "Therefore will I now beseech the highest, that he will comfort me unto the end."
Right, so he's seen these visions. He's seen, and hey, it tells you that was you jump back to chapter 11. It says that was especially the latter part of the feathers, which essentially was the Flavian dynasty. That was a very restrictive time for our people.
Right.
All right, Flavian dynasty. Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. They put hell on our people, man. All right. So Esdras seen that. Go ahead.
Just going back to the 2nd Esdras 11, just a little bit. This is 2nd Esdras 11, 2nd Esdras 11, verse 32. It says, and this is what the elder was speaking about. It says, "But this head put the whole earth to fear, and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth with much oppression, and it had the governance of the world more than all the wings that had been." That's the reincarnation of Julius, which was not Domitian, Vespasian.
Vespasian, right.
Right. So, like the elder was saying, that was a bad time for Israel.
That's right. Okay.
Verse 6 again, 2nd Esdras 12 and 6, it says, therefore will I now beseech the highest that he will comfort me unto the end. Verse 7, and I said, Lord, that bearest rule, if I found grace before thy sight, and if I am justified with thee before many others, and if my prayer indeed be come up before thy face, comfort me then. Verse 8, comfort me then, and show me thy servant the interpretation and plain difference of this fearful vision, that thou mayest perfectly comfort my soul.
Right. As like Ezra said, when you read which I think it's chapter 15 and 16, we said, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? I mean, Ezra, he got some heavy visions, man. Visions of the end times. All right, he's seen all the destruction. Most High was basically showing him, like, look, this was gonna happen. Like, damn, you know. And so, which is how he knew he understood reincarnation. Cause why else would he say who's gonna deliver me in those days if this was gonna happen thousands of years in the future?
Right.
You know. You grab something. Go ahead, bro.
Just because he Ezra's mentioned the word comfort a few times. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 1 and 3. It says, blessed be the Most High, even the Father of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, the Father of mercies, and the power of all comfort. Verse 4 says, whom comforteth us in all our tribulation. And Ezra seeing this vision, it was troubling to him. All right? It says that we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble, by the comfort wherewith we ourselves are comforted from the Most High. Right.
That's right. Yeah, so I comfort come from Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. You know, all our temptations, low points, those shaky moments, so to speak. If we gotta go to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, just as he did right here.
Right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 12, verse 9. It says, for thou hast judged me worthy to show me the last times.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, go ahead.
It says, verse 10, it says, and he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. Verse 11, the eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Right, which is the Roman Empire.
Right.
Which is particularly dealing with that first portion of it, those first 12 Caesars. All right, but it's talking about the Roman Empire. All right, go ahead.
And it mentioned Daniel. Right. That shows the validity of the Apocrypha.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's right.
Verse 12, it says, but it was not expounded unto him. Therefore now I declare it unto thee. Verse 13, behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon the earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it. Verse 14, in the same shall 12 kings reign, one after another. Right,
so this is where he's basically breaking it down to him, what the 12 feathers represent, 12 kings. Essentially, as we read earlier, it was the 12 Caesars, all right? Start from Julius Caesar all the way to Titus, I believe was the last one.
Yeah, Domitian,
Slaki. Titus came before, all right? Go ahead.
It says, verse 15, it says, wherefore the second shall begin to reign and shall have more time than any of the 12.
Right, and that was Augustus Caesar, which he ruled roughly about 40 something years, or something like that in that area. Some scholars say 40 or 45, close to 50. They throw numbers around. But if you look at the timeline, that's pinpoint accuracy, man. Right. He ruled longer than all of them. All right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 16, and this do the 12 wings signify which thou sawest. Verse 17. Which
the wings is basically the same thing. 12 wings, 12 feathers. Go ahead.
Verse 17. As for the voice which thou heardest speak, and that thou sawest not go out from the heads, but from the midst of the body thereof, this is the interpretation. Verse 18, that after the time of the kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to its beginning.
Right, which we brought out in the chapter 11 when it spoke about the body that's dealing with the Senate. All right, because the Senate was in control, just like today. You got the electoral college.
Right.
They basically decide who the president's going to be. You know, so back in Rome, the Roman Senate, they was basically in control of who was going to rule next.
Right.
So all these Caesars were getting set up. They was basically set up by that Senate.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's spot on. Because that's exactly what they did yesterday.
Oh yeah, damn, yeah,
That's exactly the Senate.
That's it.
You know, and they had the Speaker Nancy Pelosi and the Vice President.
Damn, I didn't even think of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened. What we're reading here happened yesterday, and they counted up all the electoral votes, and they deemed Joe Biden the next president, and Kamala Harris the next vice president.
That's right.
Same exact
Same exact thing. Yep. No new thing under the sun.
No new thing under the sun. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna reread verse 18. Verse 18.
Yep.
That after the time of the kingdom there shall arise great strivings, and it shall stand in peril of falling. Nevertheless, it shall not then fall, but shall be restored again to his beginning.
Right, which that's heavy too, because you had that period of time, you know, in that timeline dealing with the year of the four emperors.
Right.
That was a shaky time for the Roman Empire.
Oh yeah.
But then, which is heavy, because it said it will be restored again to its beginning. So who came back at the end of that? Vespasian.
That's it.
Which really was Julius Caesar in the reincarnation. So right there, it's telling you, you see what I'm saying? It was restored back to its beginning. That the first triumvirate came back,
Right.
so to speak. You know. Yeah.
Just a quick precept, just to apply.
Right.
What's going on. Just to apply. It's not a a direct precept.
You got it, bro.
Brothers will understand it.
You got it.
Jeremiah chapter 51 and 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. I just wanted to bring that out because this is a form of like healing, like the elder was saying. The year of the four emperors, man, it looked shaky for Rome.
Yeah.
It looked real shaky until Vespasian, brought back a certain type of power to Rome.
That's right.
He was like the balm to heal that womb of those 4 years.
That's right.
All right. Verse 19.
Verse 19, yeah.
All right, second Esdras chapter 12, verse 19.
Shalom to the brothers on the comment board too. Shalom. See y'all on there. All right, go ahead.
It's verse 19. It says, and whereas thou sawest the 8 small under feathers sticking to her wings, this is the interpretation. Verse 20. That in him there shall arise 8 kings, whose time shall be but small, and their years swift. Right.
So you had particular Caesars that didn't rule as long as some of the others. All right, they made it rule for 20, 30, 40 years. Again, you go back to chapter 11. It was breaking it down. How you had some that was getting basically knocked off in 4 months.
Right.
Then the next guy come, he'll get knocked off in 6 months.
Right.
This dude ruled for 7 days.
Right.
And he kill himself or whatever. That was what's going on, man. Rome, it was crazy, man.
Right.
Just Google a year of the four emperors. All right, which we got the names too. If you want to read those, I think it starts with
year of the four emperors was Galba, Otho, Vitellius, and Vespasian.
Right.
Vespasian was the end of it.
Right. Yeah. So that's 4 of the 8 that's talking about. All right. Their time was swift. Even Vespasian didn't even rule that. Even though he had he was a major force, but he wasn't in the power seat that long.
Yeah, like compared to the other ones.
Compared to the other ones, right?
Yeah, like Augustus, like you said, was like 40. Scholars say 44.
Right.
45. Then Tiberius was 22 years. So on. Most of them were between like that 15, 20 year mark. Vespasian only ruled for like 9 years.
That's right. Yep. Go ahead. Oh, if you got something else?
Right.
Okay, you got it.
Let's see.
You was at verse
22. Or was that verse? No, I was at verse 20.
20, yep.
Second Esdras chapter 12 and 20, it says that in him there shall arise 8 kings whose time shall be but small and their years swift. Verse 21, and 2 of them shall perish, the middle time approaching. 4 shall be kept until their end begin to approach. 2 shall be kept unto the end.
Right. So it's describing that time period. All right, of the timeline of these particular 8 seasons that only rule for a short time. It said 2 of them shall perish. It said what the 4 shall continue to the end.
It says 4 shall be kept until their end
Right.
begin to approach.
Right.
It says, but 2 shall be kept unto the end.
2 shall be kept unto the end, which when you read down, is going to tell you those last 2 is talking about Titus and Domitian. All right, when you read, because it's going to connect it. All right, but you can go ahead.
It says verse 22. It says, and whereas thou sawest 3 heads resting, this is the interpretation.
Right.
Verse 23. In his last days shall the Most High arise, Shalakia. In the last days shall the Most High raise up 3 kingdoms and renew many things therein. And they shall have the dominion over the earth.
Right. This is talking about the Flavian dynasty. Even though it says 3 kingdoms, really that's talking about, Vespasian's his rule, that's his kingdom. Titus, he ruled, that's his kingdom. And then you had Domitian, which was, I believe, was the younger brother. All right. And when it says they have rule over the earth, meaning the known world at that time, because they didn't rule like how Esau's ruling now, where they got the fatness of the earth.
Right.
That hair.
Right.
Or yellow hair. Look it up in the matter of fact, edification. Look it up in the etymology. I've read that. I was like, come on, man. Y'all the Edomites, man.
Right.
Ain't no way you gonna convince us otherwise, bro. You are the Edomites.
I clicked on Flavian.
Yep.
And then I clicked on the root Flavius. Yep. It says a Roman gene's name,
right,
related to Flavus.
Right.
Golden yellow blonde. It says yellow haired.
Yellow haired, man.
That's it.
Which goes back to leprosy.
Right.
When you read the law, man, we said when you see a man with yellow thin hair, with the, you know what I'm saying? That's leprosy, man. So that's talking about you so-called white people. This is really your history.
That's it. Yep. For sure.
You damn devils, man. All right.
100%.
That's right. You got anything else, right? You said verse 23, right?
23.
Okay. Go ahead.
It says, verse 23, in the last days shall the Most High raise up 3 kingdoms and renew many things therein, and they shall have the dominion of the earth. Right.
Was this the first triumvirate? You read up on that. Was Julius Caesar, Crassus, I think one of the name was, and Pompey. They all ruled together. That's why it was a triumvirate. They had a joint rulership. But then when you read the prophecy, going back to it goes hand in hand. 2 Esdras 11 and 12. The 11th chapter says that the heads were at rest.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. And then they came back. So they came back in the form of the Flavian dynasty. They was alive at the time altogether, but they ruled at separate times. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. The 2 Esdras 11 and 9, it says, but let the heads be preserved for the last.
Right. The head so they was the last Caesars to reign in this prophecy, dealing with the feathers. All right, it was the last 3.
The Lord always deals with a full circumference of things.
That's right.
He just ended the circle right there.
That's right. Yep. That's right.
The last 3 heads, they just came right back around. Verse 24, it says, and of those that dwelt therein with much oppression, above all those that were before them.
Right.
Therefore are they called the heads of the eagle.
Yep.
Verse 25, it says, for these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness, and that shall finish his last end. Esau going out with a bang.
Yeah, that's it.
You can tie this to today, man. Esau going out with a bang.
Yeah, you can tie it to Yep.
Because you got just hypothetically, being facetious a little bit. You had Obama, and then you had Trump. Now you're gonna have Biden. You know, them three gonna bring you home. Cause at the end of the day, when Obama came in, he didn't do nothing for you crusty niggas, man.
Right.
He didn't do nothing for you. He just wrote a whole bunch of executive orders that just gave an alley-oop to Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Donald Trump came in. Look at 2020. You see what I'm saying? In his 4 years, he spent over what $6-7 billion dollars. I think he's the second. Obama was the first highest spending president. Trump was the second highest spending president in history. All right, now you got this dude Biden. Well, matter of fact, I had put that in the group text.
Yeah, I just seen. Yep.
It says Biden wants to release nearly all available vaccines. So these devils are going out with a bang right now, just like they did back in Rome.
Yep.
You know?
I got a precept. This one came to mind as you were saying that. Revelations 12:12.
Right. That's the spirit out right there.
Oh yeah. This is Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time.
And if I may say, because the devil knows that he has, which we know that's the Edomites. He knows he has a short time, but Esau has always had a hasty spirit on him from the jump. Yep. Going all the way back to the book of Genesis.
That's right.
Hey, hurry, I'm about to die. Being a little punk, like, bro, you can't wait about 10 more minutes till this is done. No, he's hasty. He does. He moves. That's why we can see how sloppy he is now.
Right.
Because he does everything in haste and he's trying to be quick with it. Because he knows, but he has a short time.
Right.
You know.
And we say that Esau Edom is the harbinger of death, and like the brother Abel in our camp he said basically, which I was like, damn, that's a good point. He said this is basically death's last hoorah, so to speak.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Because in the kingdom, we're not gonna die. We're gonna be like basically gods, man. Right. So this is death's last chance to, do his thing, so to speak, man.
Right.
So when death come this time, it's gonna come like you said, man. It's gonna basically Esau going out with a bang, man.
Right.
But yeah, that was it on that.
Okay. So going back. I'm going to reread verse 24. It says, 2nd Esdras 12:24, and of those that dwell therein with much oppression above all those that were before them, therefore they are called the heads of the eagle. Verse 25, these are they that shall accomplish his wickedness and shall finish his last end. Verse 26, and whereas thou sawest the great head appear no more, it signifieth that one of them shall die upon his bed, and yet with pain. Verse 27. Right, the
great head. That's Vespasian. All right, he was the basically he was the main one. This basically like this three-headed eagle, so to speak. All right, he was in the middle. All right, so once he died, that left his two sons. All right. Go ahead.
Verse 27. For the two that remaineth shall be slain with the sword. It says, verse 28. For the sword of the one shall devour the other, but at the last shall he fall through the sword himself.
Right.
Verse 29, it says in what you just gonna say?
Yeah, matter of fact, go back, read verse
28 again.
Yeah, read 28 again. Kind of slide.
Verse 28, it says, for the sword of the one shall devour the other.
Right, for the sword of one shall devour the other. Now when you research it, all right, because it's a so-called conspiracy. When you read the history on it, they believe that Domitian had Titus killed. All right, his own brother, man, because he believed. I think when you read the history on it, I was reading it earlier today. Basically, Vespasian, because they deal with your sons, the oldest son's gonna be next. So Vespasian, he was basically grooming Titus to be the his heir, so to speak, to the throne. And when you read up on it, the younger brother who's Domitian, he was kind of looking at that like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like why I feel like he getting, it's in the history. Right. So they speculate that Domitian had Titus killed. So that's why it says, verse 28 again, it says, for the sword of the one shall devour the other, man. All right. So they came against each other.
Right.
You know.
That's it.
Let me turn off the. All right, you got it.
Come on. It says, verse 29, and whereas thou sawest two feathers under the wings passing over the head that is on the right side, verse 30, it signified that these are they whom the highest hath kept unto their end. This is the small kingdom and full of trouble, as thou sawest.
Right, so when we read, when it said, two shall perish, four shall be kept to end, two shall be kept. So it's linking back up.
Right.
Letting you know that's the end of that of that particular rule or that reign, the end of the Flavian dynasty.
Right.
All right, go ahead. It
says verse 31, and the lion whom thou sawest raising up out of the wood and roaring and speaking to the eagle,
right,
and rebuking her for her unrighteousness with all the words which thou hast heard. This is the anointed which the highest hath kept for them and for their wickedness unto the end.
Right, which the anointed, which we all know is talking about Yahweh Shai. All right, that lion, man.
Right.
All right, that's the anointed. Go ahead.
It says, and he shall reprove them and shall upbraid them with their cruelty. Verse 33, it says, for he shall set them before him alive in judgment and shall rebuke them and correct them.
Right.
Verse 34, for the rest of my people shall he deliver with mercy, those that have been preserved upon my borders, and he shall make them joyful unto the coming of the day of judgment, whereof I have spoken unto thee from the beginning.
From the beginning. So that's what Yahweh Shai is coming to do, man.
Right.
He's coming to preserve and save our people, because these same individuals, they back again today.
Doing the same
They
thing.
doing the same thing, like we read. You know, what 70 AD was Jeremiah 30:7 at that time. All right, and then that's coming back again, Jeremiah 30:7. We say it's going to be 70 AD 2.0.
Right.
All right, and Yahweh Shai going to be there. All right, to it said what he says he's going to save. What verse that you just read? Was a word.
Verse 34.
Verse can I read on verse 34 again?
Verse 34 says, for the rest of my people shall be delivered with mercy, those that have been preserved upon my borders, and he shall make them joyful unto the coming of the day of judgment, wherefore I have spoken unto thee from the beginning.
Right, those that have been preserved. Who's that? That's the remnant.
That's right.
All right, that's the remnant, man.
That's it.
And even back then, all right, some of the remnant got away. That's why the scripture say. That's why he told them, look, we see Jerusalem pass by with armies, flee to the mountains. So that even the remnant back then escaped. Right, they flee, man, because they took heed to the words of the Lord, man. So it's the same thing now. All right, we seeing Jerusalem, so to speak, pass by with armies, but we're fleeing, spiritually, so to speak.
Right.
You know, let's say flee out of the midst of Babylon. Every man deliver his own soul, so to speak. All right. You had precept?
I was just gonna try to find what you were saying.
Okay. Yeah. So that remnant, man, Yahweh Shai is coming to redeem and preserve that remnant. And it says what? They're going verse 34 again, it says what? It shall make them joyful unto the coming of the day of judgment. All right. Which is not, is no coincidence. This is the year hastening the day of the Lord, man.
Right.
Which essentially is the day of judgment. All right.
This
is
Mark chapter 13 and 14. It says, but when ye shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken by Daniel.
Daniel. Yep.
That's how you know this is like the elder was saying, that was Jacob's trouble during that time.
That's right.
It's gonna be Jacob's trouble 2.0, or should I say Jacob's trouble 2021, Lord willing.
That's right.
Coming now, it says, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, says, standing where it ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let them that be in Judea flee unto the mountains. And it's the spirit why it says, let him that readeth understand. Then say, then let them that be in Judea flee unto the mountains, flee to the mountains, because this is something that you got to understand, that troubling times are coming.
That's right. That's right.
And, you know, like the elder was saying, we're not, you know, hey, some of us may actually flee to some mountainous areas, but
right.
just in a sense, we're gonna flee into that tower that the scripts speak about, the classic script 18 and 10,
That's it.
Proverbs 18 and 10. That's what we're gonna flee into. You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
And that's what he's telling us right here.
That's right.
All right. And not a lot of people understand.
That's right.
Not a lot of people want to read it either. It says, "Let him that readeth understand it." Comprehend the words that the Lord is saying, and like the elder was saying, in 70 AD there were some that fled. When you read Babylon and Timbuktu, that book, it talks about like over 1 million fled into Egypt,
Africa,
into Africa.
Tears of Africa,
That's it. You know, that was what he was saying right there. All right. And you're gonna have some people doing it in this time because the sheep hear his voice.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. Yep. That's it. That's on point right there.
We go back to 2 Esdras 12. I'm reading verse 34 again.
Yep.
It says, "For the rest of my people shall he deliver with mercy, those that have been preserved upon my borders, and he shall make them joyful unto the coming of the day of judgment, whereof I have spoken unto thee from the beginning." Verse 35, "This is the dream that thou sawest, and these are the interpretations."
Right. So that pretty much let's see, that pretty much ends it right there. And then it goes on. I mean, the whole chapter is beautiful.
Hey,
but yeah.
Read 46 and 47.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, yeah.
Well, you know,
go ahead, yeah.
And just through the Spirit, you know. 2 Esdras chapter 12, verse 46. It says, "Be of good comfort, O Israel, and be not heavy, thou house of Jacob." Verse 47, "For the highest hath you in remembrance, and the mighty have not forgotten you in temptation."
Yeah, that's it. So the Most High is always going to be with his people, starting with the elect. All right? So we don't have nothing to fear. Right. Just put our trust and hope in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He's going to be with us, man. He's going to deliver us. You know? He did it back then, right? You know, what comes to mind is, was that Sirach chapter 2?
Oh, yeah.
You know, see, any trust in the Lord, you won't get it. You know? That's it, man. Just put our trust, hope in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He won't save us out of these different scenarios, man. You know, just like he did back then during the time of these different wars and uprisings we're reading about, and especially in this time, in times of the end. All right?
Right. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 2 and 10. It says, "Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?" It says for the
and the answer to that is nobody.
Right.
All right. Who has he despised that called upon him? Nobody, man. All right. You call upon the Lord in sincerity and truth. All right. The Lord will come through for you, man.
Right.
All right. Most High sent a Savior. You know, that's Yahushua, which that's what his name means. He saves or he delivers. All right. So it says what? Be a good comfort. It says and be not heavy. Meaning what? Be not heavy minded, man. Don't let the thoughts, you know, the what ifs, you know, weigh you down, so to speak, man. You know, and just go on just pure raw faith. You know, just that raw faith. Yahweh Shem Yahushua going to be there for us, man. You know, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, son. All right. So you know, with that, you know, this is overview or review of 2 Esdras chapter 12. Right, like I said, we did 2 Esdras 11 a few months back. You might want to search on YouTube if you want to watch that. A few other brothers done videos on it as well. All right, but just wanted to come through in the spirit, you know, and do this video. All right, so we gonna sign off, giving them praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, the abundance to the apostles. That was a great millstone. All right, and shalom to the elect. Lord willing, to the next video. Shalom.
Shalom.